I'm Nathan Judah, Mr. Liam Keane. It's day 5, Marbella training camp, and early morning session, 9:30 today. We drove about 20 minutes from Shea Judah, got here, and Gary O'Neill had the players in a big huddle. It was an interesting chat, wasn't it, to start?
Yeah, probably like a little bit more of a serious chat, albeit, you know, no sort of old school screaming and shouting like you might imagine back when Gary was a player. But no, yeah, a bit more of a sort of serious chat about, I suppose, finding the balance between having a little bit of fun and doing serious work. A little bit of talk about Arsenal and what they'll be doing, obviously with that first game coming up, and saying that we've got to make sure we're matching standards. And then they went on to have a great session. The sessions we've seen have all been very well structured, good atmosphere, good vibe, and then obviously the quality there as well. And I think Gary's just trying to make sure that maintains.
Yeah, it is interesting because that's a couple of times in as many days now that Arsenal has been discussed, not obviously in detail, but the reference is there, and it's refreshing because, you know, you're in July, but that focus is on that first game at Arsenal. It's not about, no disrespect, Como, it's not about RB Leipzig or these games, Crystal Palace and West Ham in Miami. It's about Arsenal. That's where it starts, and it's the work between now and then, how they get there to be ready to go on that Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. And once they get closer to that Arsenal game, obviously with the players, they'll start going through tactics. Gary and his team will obviously start on that a lot earlier, but the players will start to go through tactics a lot closer to the game. But the mentions of it now is more mental than anything else. You're having that game as a target, and everything else is preparation for that one fixture. And obviously that's only one game of 38, but it's the starting point of what is a long, arduous season, and you want some momentum. So that's the thing you target, and you try and do your best, the best job possible. That is, a tough away trip against probably, someone who's going to be challenging for the title. So yeah, I quite like it. I like it. It's thinking about everything we're doing is important. Of course it is, but that's the target. That's what's in front of it. Keep it in your rearview mirror.
A lot of close ball work as well to start with, and then splitting for some defensive and forward work.
Yeah, splitting the two up really. They were doing a lot with the defenders on shape really. A lot of the centre backs lining up with other centre backs in front of them or other defenders in front of them, and just working on shape and movement and moving as a unit. And Ian Birchall and Gary were both working with the defenders specifically on balls coming from different angles, whether it's a cross from the right, from the left, a through ball, whatever it might be, and just working on that shape and that positioning. And on the other side of the same pitch, working separately, Tim Jenkins, Sean Dowie taking the attacking players through, obviously midfield and attack, through phases of play really to find the space and get crosses in and score goals obviously. So yeah, two ends of the field that were obviously massively important. They're working on both, and then they brought that together toward the end. Again, so we saw similar earlier this week, 7-a-side games, just trying to get a little bit of need or a little bit of competitiveness.
Yeah, and it was.
Exactly.
And worked hard, and you think that's the end of the session. Oh no, it wasn't. It would have been. This is mine, this is your, and this is everybody at home's worst nightmare, because it's been about an hour and 15 minutes. It is hot. It's 37, it's 38. They are dripping after these 3 7-a-side games. Really competitive.
Yeah.
And then Gary O'Neill says, it's time for fitness, it's time for runs.
Right lads, we're doing running. Sets them all. Actually, ironically, the goal is just in front of us, you can't see it on the camera, but they line up right across here, all running that direction. He's off, there you go. Not quite as good. Oh, he's going again. Okay, I didn't expect him to go a second time. Wait, I hope he doesn't do the whole thing, because I'm just stood here. I'll just let you watch him, it's fine. He's going to be knackered by the time he gets back. Go on, Grandad.
Oh, Hammy's gone. Hammy's gone.
I felt like doing that a few times.
Come back in.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on, get you back in. I've been keeping them busy, don't worry.
But they did work really hard. So who were the main contenders? Or have you told the peeps what I was doing?
No. I was talking about you. Right at the front, Daniel Podence, leading it pretty much from the beginning. From
almost start to finish.
Almost start to finish.
Great shape. Looks absolutely.
He looks in top
baller.
shape.
Yeah, to be fair.
Luke Cundle right at the front, Sarabia right at the front. Hugo Bueno was up there. Pedro Lima was up there.
Ryan Nori was there.
Nori was roughly around there as well. There was a few that were towards the back and probably set their stall out earlier. Naming no names.
Any names?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Judah, Keane.
Yeah, right, we'd definitely be at the back. Kundal ended up winning it in the end. Pedence, he had it in the bag, and this last little lap here, I don't think he cared about winning really, and he just sort of trotted over the line. And
Pedence was the guy where you've got two semi-finals, your favourite to win the 100 metres final, top 4 qualify, and he lets up on the line and finishes third because he knows he's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
he's coasting. He's coasting.
Coasting's the right word. And I tell you what, it was a brutal session. I can tell from your breathing, it's not easy in this heat as well.
I'm quite tired already, actually, to be fair.
Not great.
Look, interesting at the end as well. You spoke to Totti Gomez, which is great.
Yep.
I'm sure that'll be on the Express site very, very soon. Remember, £2 subscription, 6p a day. The rest of this trip and all of Miami, plus the 6 days in between as well. Which we're going to be in the beautiful, warm UK. Can't wait for that weather. And then Gary O'Neill and Hwang Hee-chan had a bit of a chat privately on the pitch. Now, look, we don't know what was said, but interesting, especially with. I know they're in and around the players 24/7 here, but at the same time, they're in groups, aren't they? They're going to dinner, they're going back, they've got their own time. So sometimes you can get a player one-on-one. It might be after training. It was today. I just wonder whether the bid for Marseille might have been mentioned.
Yeah, reiterate, we don't know obviously what was said. We weren't in earshot of the conversation, but it was, as we've come to expect from Gary, very much friendly. He's an arm around the shoulder kind of guy. He's hugging, he's chatting to him, he's laughing with him. I think he obviously wants to keep Hwang Hee-chan. I think the player is definitely happy here as well. And the odds of that deal going through and him going anywhere, let alone Marseille, is very slim, unless obviously money talks. So. Yeah, it was nice to see really, because we see him do that round the squad. Just over here at the end, Santi Bueno and Pablo Sarabia were just sat in the sun and having a chat. He comes over and he sits with them and he has a chat, and it's good. Yeah, it's very hands-on. It's very hands-on, and regardless of what they were talking about with Hwang, and obviously it's interesting because of the bid that we all know came in. To have that kind of relationship with your players, I think, is really important. And then, of course, obviously, come and have a chat with us as well.
Yeah, I was going to say we had a very brief chat with Gary at the end as well. It was very nice of him to come across and kind of just going through what we've seen so far. And he's excited that we're seeing it firsthand. And you can tell in his speech just the enthusiasm he's got for this challenge ahead, but also in pre-season, because as we said before, it's his very first pre-season as head coach. Didn't get one at Bournemouth, didn't get one at Wolves, so this is new to him as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I said at the end of last season, Gary hinted at it himself, that he'd have learned as much about himself as the players from last season and from this pre-season as well. They'll slightly tweak, and speaking to Tim Jenkins obviously earlier this week, and our piece is out there, slightly tweak the way they do things. They're not experimenting, but they've got certain things they want to try out and try and evolve the team, and it's about not standing still and trying to keep up with modern football, which is a behemoth of a challenge. So you've great word.
Wow,
what a word.
Behemoth.
I just came out of nowhere.
That's absolutely astonishing.
I don't even know what happened.
I couldn't spell it.
I couldn't tell you. Not a clue.
Behemoth.
Don't even know the definition, mate.
I've been doing this for 10 years at the Express Star. No one has ever come out with the word behemoth.
Yeah, but you're still an ex-professional these days, aren't you? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I respect it. I respect it.
But yeah, that point really, just to finish it off, is that learning about himself as well as the players, and having a pre-season for himself as much as the team, I think it's going to be really important for Wolves moving forward.
And we've had 5 days now of really good training. I guess they had an evening session when they first arrived on the Tuesday as well, but 5 strong days. And for the first time, I think we're both looking forward to it, and I know Gary's looking forward to it as well. We get a game tomorrow.
I know.
We get a game. It is Wolverhampton Wanderers against Como.
I know. Tomorrow, Monday evening, it'll be about 6:30.
So about 5:30 kick-off.
Yeah, 5:30 UK time.
Yeah, it's just 1 hour back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You good
by
about
you. No. Don't give me the maths crap. Don't give me the maths crap.
I say it first. Don't worry about it.
Behemoth.
It'd be great to see. I mean, it'll be slow-paced, and play in terms of amount of minutes each player plays will be very limited because of the fact it's the first game back. But just to see a bit of a game scenario, a little bit of competitiveness, see how Wolves line up, see how they play, see which players stand out. It's looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to seeing Larson play. we've seen. I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to be very useful. I think he's going to be a starter for Wolves overall. Whether it is at the start of the season, you don't know, because you've got to see how the Premier League is for a lot of these newbies. But he's going to be interested to see his movement, whether he can score, what his mantra is. It's going to be very useful, I think, for everybody, not just us, but Gary O'Neill.
Yeah, definitely. And also, we're talking about different options in the forward line. So whether they go into the Premier League starting him, or whether he comes off the bench, or whatever it might happen, having a different profile of forward and an out-and-out number 9 is exactly what Wolves needed. And it just gives them those different options going forward. So to see him playing is one of the top ones I'm most looking forward to, because get a couple of goals and all of a sudden everyone's a little bit excited.
Top 20 goal season man then, batsman, right?
Exactly.
Next Haaland.
And that comparison's so easy to make, isn't it? So
honestly,
easy. He looks tiny little bit similar to him. They're both similar heights. He's Norwegian.
What's similar to him?
It's that like Scandinavian look. You know what I mean?
Nice blonde, white blonde hair.
It looks a little bit like him.
Okay, looks a bit like him. Okay,
same height, same nation. You know what I mean?
I get you. So we'll be doing our video after the game tomorrow, so it'll be interesting.
Yes,
first ever analysis video of 2024-2025. We'll see you then.